In 1948, a ship called the Empire Windrush arrived in Tilbury against the backdrop of a recovering Britain, bringing dreams, hopes, and a new era for Britain. What followed was a remarkable tale of migration, resilience, and the lasting impact of Windrush. This documentary takes us on a journey where we hear from 3 generations whose lives were shaped by the Windrush story. Their voices and experiences will give us a deeper understanding of this important moment in history. Listen to their stories, learn from their challenges, and discover the significant impacts of the Windrush generation.
My name is Stanley Romain. The area I'm from is Carriacou, which is part of Grenada.
My name is Corinthia Richards and my island is Dominica, West Indies.
My name is Rosalind Noel Sylvester and I'm from Brunswick, Carriacou, part of Grenada, West Indies.
I am Pastor Derek Wilson and my parents are from Jamaica.
My name is David from Carriacou, Grenada.
My name is Alison Williams and you're welcome to put MBE after it because I've got one. And I came from Trinidad.
Hey, I'm Sion Sylvester. My parents are from Grenada, Carriacou.
My name is Gemma Clark and I'm from Trinidad.
I'm Michael from Jamaica.
My name is Alison Best and my parents, my mother comes from Jamaica and my father comes from Barbados.
Hi, I'm Louise and my dad's from Jamaica and my mum's from Ireland.
I'm supposed to be Lady Lee. That's my initials, Lady Lee. Wilfred Shivers. Well, it was British when I left, but then it got independence when I got here. British Guyana, so now it's just Guyana.
At the time, England was taking people from the Caribbean, and I came here in September 1957.
When I came from Aruba with my family, all my friends, most of my friends were coming to England. So it was like, I was 19 years old. So it was like an adventure.
I was a teenager working as a civil servant in Trinidad, but I always wanted to do nursing.
The journey was 21 days, and that was because the boat was damaged because we had storm, and they had to stop in Vigo in Spain to repair, and then we move on, come up to Southampton.
The boat accompanied was the TSS Venezuela. Never forget that boat. And we had a lot to eat and drink. And the day we live in the boat, about 5 of my friends get drunk. All they drink is red wine. The thing was the Italian boat. I get off in Genoa, and we came by train. I think they went all through the Swiss Alps anyway, because they have to change train somewhere, and then from there we come into Cali. And from Cali we come to Victoria. 19 days from Grenada to before I get to Genoa.
Well, actually, I don't really say, boom, I was a part of the Windrush generation. I was told then, after I become one of the Windrush generation, because the Windrush generation came and they sort of like made a pay for us. When we entered, it wasn't as rash as it was that they suffered. I mean, we did suffer, but they had the full blast of it, if you get what I mean. But with us, we sort of like, it was different because we had people that was here before that was able to tell us at least what train to get on.
When I first came here, I thought, what a horrible place. I thought, nah, people live here? It was so drab, it was dark and like now, gray and overcast. And I thought, nah, I don't want to stay here. But I've been here now 52 years, yeah? I didn't want to stay here, I wanted to go back straight away. But when you get here and you get hooked up in the system, it's another thing. That's another story.
Mine might be different to some of them because I was in a nurse's home, and in that nurse's home, the hospital catered for more Trinidadians than any other. So I always have a trainee around us. And when I lived there and qualified, I came to London and then I went and did children of Great Ormond Street and other hospitals, and that's it. I'd never really get hard times like how some of them say. To be honest, I never.
Well, it was a bit rough. Cold, which we couldn't understand because we had never been in a cold country.
I came and I went to Halifax because my brother lives in Halifax, in Yorkshire. And I couldn't, it was very cold because it was October month when I finally arrived. We leave home in September. And my uncle came in from work and saw me. Every evening I was sitting by the fire not doing anything. He said, if this child is not going down to London, send her back to the Caribbean because she's going to die. That was my first experience of being very, very cold.
When I came here, it was already a West Indian community here, and it didn't take me it didn't take me long to adapt because we had lots of different guys of my age who was coming to this country at the same time as me, same age, and from different islands in the Caribbean, and we all linked together, and it was easy for us. I mean, in the 60s, I wasn't here in the 60s, just in the 70s. They could tell you about the Teddy Boys and all that, and the fighting and all that. But I missed all that. I didn't get none of that. So it was kind of a plain sailing for me. It was quite nice and easy.
The racial things in this country are very bad. You hardly could find a place to live, and if you get a place, there's a lot of restrictions. If you have visitors, you have to leave by a certain time. And most of the place didn't want no children in the place. And it was hard, and sometimes you live in around 4 or 5 people in one room.
British.
I see myself as Black British. I don't see myself as English. Because I think that the Caribbean influence has been so strong as a child growing up. I actually feel like I am from Grenada, even though I wasn't born there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And for me, myself, being mixed race, I identify culturally with my Irish roots and also like with my West Indian roots. I've been to Ireland more times and I haven't been to the West Indies yet, my bad, but at the end of the day, both of my parents, they taught me about the education of both of their countries and like their struggles when they came over. So what they taught me was really sort of like important, and it instilled me for who I am today.
I'm British. I feel British because I grew up here. I know nothing else. Living in the Caribbean at 9, 10, you have little memories of the Caribbean. I was cultured, I was brought up there, and there's certain things, a lot of things I remember because I was 9 and 10, yeah? But wholly and truly, British.
A culturally influenced by my heritage, and also influenced by where I live now in London, West London. I would say it's got a nice mix between music, food, and just heritage, but with a lot of British influence over the years. I feel like my parents, for example, have a lot more closer ties to the homeland than I do. However, I still keep ties, like I know how to cook up some jerk and that. But I would say definitely, yeah, it's something that we need to keep strong, because I feel like as the generations progress, we become more British, Englishized. I don't really know how to describe it. But we need to keep certain things strong, you know what I mean? So me personally, I think I'm kind of close-tied, but at the same time, starting to stray away. It's a sad truth.
Looking at how England is today, and knowing that a lot of people from different countries, different nations, came over and helped to shape it in the shape that it is today, that's admirable, because a lot of people had nothing, but they still tried to work for something, still tried to make ends meet, make a life for themselves, and that was all races, I wouldn't say that it was just a particular race. You coming over here, you're faced with being in England, and England is not easy to get by, so you have to get a job, you have to get some form of currency to help you get through. So in the years that I've come along and seen things happen and clean-ups and things like that, I see, our people did good. They did good.
Parents used to tell us that when they came over again, being Christians, they went to the churches and they were approached afterwards and says that your church is down the road or this is not for you. And this is where those early Christians that came over from Jamaica, they had to meet in homes. And they started to throw what they call partner. And this is how they were able to buy their buildings. Buildings that they were in previously where it's been rented, the caretaker used to ring or shake the keys to say time up while service was going on.
Off the top of my head, the first person that comes to mind from that generation that inspires me would be Levi Roots. I think he's a good example because my man's an entrepreneur, but the way he entrepreneured it, I'm sure everybody knows Levi Roots and how he became through Dragon's Den. He made sure that first and foremost, he's going to bring the culture with him every step of the way, and I think that's a very important thing. Nowadays, it's very important that a lot of people be keeping their heritage with them and pass it through when you're not in the country that you're from, you know what I mean, to keep the roots strong.
I always think of myself as a West Indian. We've got two things on our side that really and truly has made us very successful in living here. That is God and laughter.
As part of the empire, we need your contribution. So then I came over and I walk on my soul case till you get what you want. Now you're telling me and my children that we are illegal immigrants. Yeah. You got what you want from me, so you're saying get out. You no longer need me in this country, you're saying get out.
Yes, get out.
After working for you all them years, you see me children, they born and grow. You ungrateful son of a so-and-so telling me now I have to go.